So, dear students and dear everyone who are connected, I am here, Yannick Miller, professor at ESCP Business School, and I'm going to present you the specialization digital transformation, understand, contribute, manage. And right after me, Paul Pronovis and Waizu will present you another specialization, applied data science. So I start. Let's get started. Do not forget, do not hesitate to ask questions in the chat. The presentation will be quite fast, and the idea is to answer your questions. So this specialization, digital transformation, understand, contribute, manage, and each presentation will be about 30 minutes, question included, I mean. Up here. So the digital transformation is having, of course, a profound impact. This is a transformation, a profound impact on society, a profound impact on economy, on work, and on our daily lives. Okay, so it's quite large, and it leads to positive and negative impact. Of course, it's a huge opportunity with the possibility of creation of wealth and to a huge opportunity to contribute to well-being. But at the same time, the digital transformation may destroy parts of the economy as we know it now, may have negative impacts on the well-being. So you have both. You have positive and negative, and it's going to be huge. What you have to keep in mind is that the digital transformation is in front of us, is before us. The biggest challenges are still to come. You may have the feeling that the world is digitalized a lot, but in fact, the main part of the real digital transformation of the economy, of the work, of the society is still to come. So you are the ones who are going to contribute and to do it, okay? The second thing you have to keep in mind is that every student of ESCP Europe, ESCP Business School, sorry, every student, whatever the country in which he or she will live, whatever the business sector, whatever the type of company or organization, whatever the job of the student, every student will have to handle the digital transformation. This will be the case for everyone. So this is a key topic, and this is very important to get trained and to have the knowledge and the skills related to the digital transformation. The digital transformation highlights the need of a new kind of expertise, what we call the frontier expertise. In this little drawing, you have a line, and on the bottom right corner, in red, here you have everything about technology. Here you have the digital specialists, experts of computer science, of software development, of coding, of hardware, probably also experts on statistics and some algorithms, okay? And on the other side, in blue here, you have people on the business side, experts of marketing, of finance, of corporate finance, of, I don't know, logistics, operation, design, all that stuff, okay? And of course, both of these communities, if I can say it that way, are very useful. However, the problem we have is that if we consider the people on the tech side, the digital tech experts, to make things simple, they are able to answer any question. They have the tools, they have the software, they have the expertise to answer all kinds of questions. But they don't know what question to ask. They don't know what will be the questions which will have the biggest impact on the business. They have plenty of tools, but they can't transform the world because they know very well the tools, but not enough the world. And on the other side, we have these people from in the blue side here from business. They know which information would be very valuable for them, but they know very well their sectors, their business, their society, but they don't know that we can answer these questions. They don't know that we can, with the new tools, with the new technologies, with the new algorithm, that we can get this information. So they don't dare to ask. And for the digital transformation to be successful, we absolutely need people on the border, on the frontier, on the line here. People who know enough about the technologies to know what we can do with them and to know what we cannot do with them, and who know enough on the business side to see what is interesting. We need people to bridge the gap. We need these experts of the frontier. And these are the ones who are going to structure the digital transformation, to develop the digital transformation, to get the best out of it. And this is precisely the purpose of our specialization. The specialization aims at developing an expertise of the digital frontier in order to be a responsible actor of the digital transformation. Here you have three very important keywords: frontier, responsible, and digital transformation. And the positioning of our specialization is this one. We will tackle the culture about digital technologies, of course, to know enough about what we can do and what we cannot do. The awareness of digital matters and knowledge of related theoretical frameworks and tools, knowledge and methods for handling the transformation itself. This is a transformation movement. Knowledge, analysis tools, skills about digital transformation of management and work. In this specialization, you have professors coming from different departments, and in particular, you have people more on the side of the digital, if I can say it that way, and people more on the side of the management and specifically from human resources. Specificities of the digital transformation in terms of business evolution, of course, talking about new business models, for instance, understanding the interfaces, relations between digital transformation and the environment, between digital transformation and society, between the machine and the man. How do you have someone working with an AI? Is this that obvious? Do we have to take things into account to manage this? And also, of course, to develop critical thinking about the digital transformation. This is very important. This is not applying non-recipes. This is building something new. We are transforming the world. That's why it is called digital transformation. So you have to be able to say no to parts of that transformation and to say yes and contribute actively to other parts. You will be responsible for this transformation. So this critical thinking about the digital transformation is very, very important. As far as it concerns the course content, the specialization is structured around 4 blocks. One which is about the digital transformation of business. And there is, in different sectors, we see the impact of the digital transformation in the banking, in the car industry, etc. And there is also a time perspective. You know, you have a lot of people who always talk to you about the revolution of blockchain, the revolution of 3D printing, the revolution of AI, the revolution. Okay, fine. But when you have a bit more experience, or when you look back in time, well, you've had a so-called revolution every I don't know, every 5 years. So this historical perspective is also interesting to see how the transformation occurs, how what was very, very new 30 years ago, how did it evolve? What did it become? Second block, digital transformation of work. Here we focus on the human worker who is now between virtual and physical. And this is, and both sides are very interesting here. When we talk about digital transformation, we are not talking only about online services. We're not talking only about Google or Ubisoft for the video games and so on. We talk about them, of course, but the digital transformation is being implemented everywhere, including in the industry. And this specialization is supported by the share about the future of factories. And so it's interesting to see, even within the factory, which is very physical, you are making things, how within the factory you have a lot of digital things and how this changes the skills of required for the people to work there. Third block, digital transformation of space, time, and leadership. We have faced it for almost 1 year now. Sometimes we have learned it the hard way. It's not the same thing to have a meeting being all physically present in the same room and having a meeting online. It's not the same thing to manage people, seeing them, having a coffee with them, seeing them in their office, and doing this in a distant way with Zoom and other tools. It's not the same thing. It's not better. It's not worse. It's different. And you have to know what are these differences and how this impacts management and leadership, and how you have to adapt your management to be able to cope with this. Last block, digital transformation grounded in our complex world of machines and men. Long title, because I don't know how to write short titles. Here we look at the digital transformation almost from the outside. How is it linked to the world? I mean, we are in a system and we are changing the system through the digital transformation. So we have to take into account other perspectives. What are the relations between digital transformation and sustainable development, for instance? What are the links between digital transformation and the society, the feeling of acceleration, for instance, digital transformation in even self, everyone, for the best and for the worst, unfortunately, sometimes. So here we tackle these aspects. And last but not least, in addition to this content, which is within the specialization, there is a elective course, which is a prerequisite or a co-requisite. So this elective course has to be studied. So either you have studied it already and you're done. If that is not the case, you will study it at the same time of the specialization if you choose the specialization. And this elective course gives you a transverse and detailed knowledge about what is digital information, its specificities, and the main trends to process it. So here we talk about AI, about Internet of Things, about big data, but also about information security and information privacy. Okay. In fact, everything is in the title of the specialization. Digital transformation, understand it, contribute it, and manage it. The understanding is very, very important. We want to show you and to think with you about the mechanisms which are there, the mechanisms which are at work in the transformation itself, in the creation of value, how digital technologies, how digital information can create value. How do we create value out of that? What are the mechanisms? How digital transformation can be so positive and sometimes, unfortunately, so negative, and how we can avoid the negative part, of course, and to enhance the positive part. So the understanding is key here in order to contribute, and yes, indeed, in the end, eventually to manage it, because you are managers. Course modalities, very diverse, lectures, exchanges with people from the industry. The specialization is supported by 2 chairs, and a company is asking now to sponsor or to help, so we will see if this happens, but we have a lot of contact with the industry, of course, a lot of teamwork, but also individual work, and creativity and critical thinking is important. So even in the way we teach, we will have moments, we will have modalities which are targeting this. We want you to be creative and to have a critical thinking about the digital transformation, because once again, this is a transformation. This is ongoing. You are doing it, okay? So we need you to be creative and critical about that. We work with startups, with blue chip companies, with public organizations. Here are some examples. So here you have on the left one of the chair reinventing work, and on the right now the other chair supporting the specialization factory for the future. And you can see different types of companies, IBM, for instance, Orange, telco operator, people from the industry like Renault, the car maker, consulting firms, people some in the retail, and some other companies. I just put here some examples. Well, I hope I was not too long. I am Yannick Miller. I am the scientific director, and I am your main contact. So I'm going to answer your questions now. And if you have other questions later, do not hesitate to send me an email to ymiller@escp.eu. And we'll be also attached to the specialization in the intranet, a PDF document detailing the contents of all the courses. So, do you have any question? I'm back. So Alma has Tina, sorry, has a question. Is there any internship opportunity offered by the specialization? I'm not sure what you mean by this. If you're asking if you have a list of internship which can be allocated only to students of the specialization, no, and I'm quite sure this is not legal in French law to say that a job is only for one person, you know. However, as we have contact with the companies, as the companies are coming into the courses to present things, to exchange with you, as we have events around the specialization, well, you have opportunities to create links with these companies, and these companies work with us because they want to hire people like you. So through the specialization and through the companies working with us, you can have opportunities to have internships. For application, which profiles are you looking for? We are looking for students who are interested in Japanese art. No. In digital transformation, it's in the title. No. In fact, we as you see, we're positioned on the frontier. So we don't need tech experts. We don't need experts in marketing, for instance, but we need people who are really willing to and interested in discovering, in exploring this frontier between the tech on one side and the business and the society on the other side. And we want people who are curious about this and with an open mind to see a lot of different perspectives. Do we need any technical knowledge before the specialization? No, and that's why there is this elective course, which is mandatory, either as a prerequisite or as a co-requisite, because in there we tackle the main elements of the technologies which will be needed for thinking of the digital technology. Is the data science specialization mainly oriented towards the marketing? Well, you will ask this question to Paul and Wei, because they are the one from the applied data science, so they will know more. And by the way, there is no problem in taking both specialization. They have two different positioning, two different perspectives, and they are quite complementing each other, I think. Do we have to provide a CV or a cover letter to apply to the specialization? Yes, but I think this is the case for all specializations, because you are, I don't know, about 1,000 M1 students and 1,000 M2 students, and no, we will not teach to 2,000 people in our specialization, even if you love it and we love you. So we have to have smaller groups, and if more people are applying, well, we have to make a selection. Right now, the words agile and Scrum are sounding louder. Will we work in will we work in an agile way? I'm not quite sure what you mean here. What is sure is that we talk about the agile method in one of the courses. And what is sure also is that the courses indeed and the specialization itself, is made to be flexible and agile, and we adapt to circumstances and to topics which may rise in the news, for example. So yes, we are not rigid old dinosaurs. Okay, we want to be goes with the topic. Another question by Matteo: are there any tech hard skills we will learn? No, I don't think we can say this. I think the tech hard skills would be rather in the applied science specialization, but Wei and Paul will say more about that. Once again, we will give you the key elements to understand the technologies and to see what we can do with them. We will see how machine learning, what is it roughly, how a neural network works, but we will not do machine learning. We will not use software. We will not go in the details of these algorithms. This is not our specialization. This is more the other one. How much technical knowledge does the digital transformation specialization provide you? If it depends what you talk about technical knowledge. We provide technical knowledge to be able to understand the technologies, to understand what can be done and what cannot be done. Why data are so important when you consider machine learning, for instance. Why machine learning is not the best way for some specificity, for some concerns. So we give tech info about this. So you have a cultural technological culture, if you want, but we do not go into the technicity of the practice. We do not do machine learning. We do not use tools or softwares, and we do not learn coding here. Not this one. Regarding data science specialization, will we learn about how to do quantitative trading? Well, you will ask this to Paul and Wei right after me. There are technical skills prerequisite. No technical skills as prerequisites, because there is a specific model which will give you the technical culture that we need. Sorry, I joined the session late. The data science specialization could be useful also for the finance. I'm quite sure it could, but they will tell you. This is in 6 minutes now. Through the specialization, will there be company visits, consulting project with companies? Yes, not necessarily consulting project with companies. Can be, but it depends, and it depends from year to year. For sure, there will be visits. Remember, we have these shares talking about space, talking about factories. So we can go to, this is planned to visit factories, for instance. This is planned to visit different working spaces to see what is the impact on management and on working. This year we have a challenge with Michelin, for instance. It's a big company making tires, and during a full day we work with them, and we'll probably organize something similar next year. Indeed, for us, this is very important to have a link with the industry, with the world, with the public organizations, because their input is important, and they are waiting for you to help them doing the digital transformation. So this is key to have these links. Voila. Gosh, I've never talked so fast. I don't see any more questions on the chat. If questions come later, do not hesitate to send me an email, or if you watch the video, if you could not attend the live session, then do not hesitate to send me a question by email also. I will answer, not in the hour, but I will answer, okay? Now I leave the floor to the other specialization, the applied data science. And Paul Pronobis, I think, is starting.
Yeah, thank you very much, Yannick. Are you able to see my presentation? Yes, okay, perfect. Yeah, so my name is Paul Pronobis. I'm actually from the Financial Reporting and Audit Department, and I have my colleague here with me, Wei Zhu, from the IoT department as well. And so this specialization, we kind of like co-developed it together, right? And actually, we are very, very excited about the specialization because last year we had a great demand for the specialization. I think we almost topped also the demand of the finance specialization. So maybe next time we can climb even higher. And yeah, why do we think it's a very important and very attractive specialization? Well, we think that yeah, big data is driving, or is a main factor in this digitalization process. There are a lot of tools and techniques really that were democratized, to put it like this. It can be used as way, and I would say quite easily. So this is how, yeah, we set up this applied data science specialization. So I will begin this talk by providing you with the opportunities, with the bigger idea of what we try to achieve with the specialization, and then where we'll focus on the course content and the kind of like more details, what is kind of like in there. And we can promise you there's a lot of actually tech skills that you're going to learn here, which is very interesting. But I think it's also, as we see, it's a challenge. Okay, so this is why also we're looking for very active, good students. So you gotta have good grades when you kind of like apply here. If not, you gotta show us somehow that you're really into this topic, that you have developed something. You know, if your grades are not that great, yeah, then please add something where we can see, okay, you're really into the subject. This is what we are looking for when we're selecting the candidates to the specialization. Yeah, so as I said, big data is really transforming the world. So when you read the newspapers, when you read kind of like professional firm statement on this topic, it can be summarized as follows. At first, the big data analytics revolution has just begun, and the demand for employees that have the skill set, okay, of helping into this transformation is really great. It's so great that even what the business schools and the universities have set up recently is not enough. It's not enough to meet the demand for the skill set of workers that are needed here. So therefore, the opportunities are really, really great, not only in terms of where, in which industry you can head into. Of course, currently data scientists, data analysts, and maybe also people dealing with analytics, they are mainly hired by scientific and technical service industry, by the information technologies industry, of course, but we see more and more of the transformation coming into manufacturing, into finance and insurance, and also into retail trade. Okay, so I think it touches upon a lot of industries. Given that the skill set is a scarce resource, the employability is really, really high, and thus also potential salaries are very, very high, right? So the range is between 50 up to 170,000 if you are a skilled data scientist, to put it like that, right? As I said, when we look into the company where data science can be applied, it can be nowadays applied almost anywhere, right? Because as Yannick said, digital transformation touches almost anything, right? Yeah, the teacher provide you with in specialization can be used. Okay, it can be used in the field of marketing when you're forecasting the demand. It can, of course, be used for trading, for finance. It's also started to be used in human resources, of course, in scientific research. Nowadays, if you want to become also a researcher, this is #1 skill that you need to have. And so, therefore, you can work as a data scientist, you can work as a business analyst, business intelligence consultant, or as a researcher. You know, this is kind of like the opportunities that you have. So now I'll hand over quickly to Wei, and Wei will continue with how we also a little bit borrowing from our Master in Big Data Science program and the course content. So Wei, looking forward to your comments.
Thank you very much, Paula. It's a pleasure. I will spend a little time to explain to our future students the content of the program of the specialization. In general, this specialization borrows lots of courses from the new Master of Science in Big Data and Business Analytics, which is in this year ranked global #4 by QS Global University Ranking in Business Analytics. So, well, the difference between this specialization and the MSc Big Data is that we strip off the domain-specific, like marketing analytics, financial analytics, management analytics. We strip off all these. We keep the content of applied data science. So we keep the hard content so that because we have 120 hours to cover. For the next one. Paul?
Yes.
Thanks. Yeah. So specifically, the courses we cover the whole applied data science process, starting from how data is curated, how data is designed, is generated from business processes, is recorded in database, and then how we can use SQL to get the data properly for further analytics. And then students also learn data visualization, how to visualize the data, how to describe the data, and it's also called BI, but we use data visualization as the keyword. And then after that, our students learn the key analytical models, including statistical learning, machine learning, coupled with the softwares in Python and R specifically. For data visualization, our students learn Tableau as the software. So then, at the core, you learn lots of a whole bunch of the major machine learning models. For instance, neural network, random forest, network analytics, natural language processing, all kinds of classification methods. Also, how to evaluate and validate the results that you obtain from the model, from the analytical model. And then that completes the major content. And then at the end, we always have applied data science research projects. Paul and I, we will conduct the research with you all together with the company. In this year, we work with Michelin and the GNS Systems, two companies. We organized the data challenge. So during the project, then you will have the data from the company, and then you will see the colleagues. You will have several meetings with colleagues from the companies, and then at the end, the deliverable is a technical execution report as well as a team presentation in front of the company colleagues. Yeah. So well, the specialization is highly research active. We have all our professors are highly research active. They have published in the major journals in like management science, review of accounting studies, European accounting review, the decision support system, expert system with applications, information management, so on and so forth. So that's pretty much it regarding the content and our professors. We are looking for students who are curious of seeing the detailed texture of business models and business processes. Because as for today, as you know, that data science is still evolving very fast. There are lots of innovations these days. Each project from the company is a research project as for today. So there's no textbook answers that you cannot just find a textbook and finance and tell the company that, look, this is the answer. It doesn't exist. So that's the reason why we try to keep all our faculties. All our faculties are quite curious and research oriented. We also want our students to be in the same mentality of willing to be brave and willing to explore the unknown and the results are usually quite interesting and and exciting for our current students right now. So yeah, so that's pretty much it. Paul and I will answer your questions if you have any.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to read the questions. However, I think I'm having more experience in finance rather than data science. And I'm learning Python and R from my friends working in IT industry. I really hope that it could be chosen by the SPE. And what kind of project I can do to prove I'm eligible for the SPE. Thank you. Well, and again, thank you, Tina. It's a pleasure to read your question. Well, we're specifically looking for curious people. So we're looking for students who are willing to, because it's hard. I have to assure you that that the course, some course is hard. It's plain hard. Coding, the model. Yeah, but we try to, it's the same as the MSc in big data. We try to, because this is business school, so we try to transform the hard mathematics into something digestible. But nevertheless, you're gonna have to see some of the math equations, and also the processes of exploring the details in the patterns in data can be hard. So yeah, we're looking for curious people. We're looking for good students, especially if a student's curious. Normally, the student is good from our experience. I don't have prior experience in the field of data science, but I'm highly curious to learn these. Do you think I'll be eligible to apply? Well, yeah. So the other courses actually starts from, even the statistics. We start from scratch. But we go very fast. So so we do not assume that you have the statistics background or you have the coding background. But if you are really interested, you probably have already started learning on your own side, watching YouTube or some online resources on Python, and they all show that you are interested in this field. Yeah, so you are of course you are eligible to apply, but it can be really fast. It goes really fast. It's like that, you go from basic statistics to machine learning in 2 weeks. Is applying multivariate data analysis. It helps if you already have taken multivariate data analysis. It's helpful because you if you learn that, you probably are familiar with R. I won't be surprised that the professor used R to teach that, so it can save you some time. And yeah, so well, in general, the content covers the classical statistics or econometrics, plus the modern machine learning methods. So there are two major components, and of course that all the courses are delivered and packaged with case studies from the business applications. What is that? Yeah, Kashin, I've already mentioned the ideal candidates profile. Is that students with curiosity. Will we be able to access the similar positions and salaries as MSc? Well, I can't tell because we don't have data to back up. So we have a question to ask the salaries, the salaries, because right now we are in it's the first year. We don't have the data to say anything yet, but I won't be surprised that the students with the skill set will be appreciated by the companies. The similar questions. What is the expected prior background skill set for the data? And again, Tamer, I've already answered previously that we do not set prior background skill set, but if you are truly interested in this, you probably have already started looking in the subject. So because there are many free contents and books online that you can do some self-studying. Yeah, but other than that, there was no prerequisite because yeah, we designed this in the curriculum. Question for yes, which will there be a lot of coding during? There will be a lots of coding. Yes, all the courses have coding components. All the courses, no exceptions. Yeah. Thank you for the presentation. How many applicants have you had? I don't remember, Paul. How many candidates do we have last year?
I think we ended up with 50, but I tried to answer it also while you were answering verbally, also directly as a comment. I think we had around 50, so I think only every second student got in, so it's very competitive. So that's what I'm saying. Also, please watch out for any fallback options in case you don't get accepted. Otherwise, if you think that you're not the best grader, then try to do something that convinces us that you're really going to manage this in addition to your application.
Yeah, well, yeah. So it's the course. Some of the course, not all the courses, but some courses can be really hard. Yeah, I tell you.
Yeah.
What is the role of professor? This. Yeah, well, ask Paul. So I can tell you on behalf of Paul. Maybe Paul can add a little bit later on, Professor Pronovis. So Paul is really interested in applied data science. We had several professors share the same interest, right? Research interest. So yeah, just had a chit chat on how about opening up applied data science. So yeah, so now we have applied data science. But Paul, because he's on a really research intensive, so he doesn't need to teach he doesn't have many hours to teach, but I think that Paul will come back. Paul teaches research methods in this year, but next year probably he will find more time teaching a couple of courses. Specialization.
Yes, I don't know exactly what the question was, Wei, but because there's so many questions popping in, so I lost the track a little bit. But yes, I mean I'm from the area of financial reporting and audit, but as I said, research now you use so much. I mean, basically you're using big data, and you need to automatically analyze financial statements using Python. You need to set up your trading portfolio in the course. Sometimes you can use software for this, so ready software, which I use in one of my courses. But in applied data science, we actually want to set let's put it like this, we want to set the stage for for everything on top of that, so that you are able to quickly work yourself into something like being able to program and quantitative trading strategy. But of course, this needs, I think, a lot of preparation, meaning that this is what Wei said, you need to if you have not I think it's manageable, but if you have not been used to any programming, you need to do a lot of preparation. And there is on the web, there's so many introductory tutorials. You can look into how to set up your Python environment, right? This is how it all starts. This is already a challenge. How do we make this work? Okay, so this is something you should do far in advance, so that when you're in the lecture, you can follow what the instructor does on the screen, and everything must be working. So, and also if you didn't understand something, you should also follow through and revisit everything after the lecture. And I think if you manage to do that, then you don't have to be you don't have to have any prior experience.
Yeah, so we have several students asking about the content of the specialization, specifically regarding that we have 4 months. Will we learn enough, or will there be lots of homework? Given how much can students learn about data science after the courses? So I can tell you that 4 months is not very long, but we are kind of like ambitious to when we design the specialization. So it also puts a slight pressure on our students to learn quickly. because the contents are really solid. There was no water, absolutely no drip of water in nowhere. So meaning that this 4 months will be really heavy. There are many homework assignments. I'm teaching right now. I'm teaching like three courses right now simultaneously. And then every week we have 3 homework assignments. For an instance, one is in this week the students run sentiment analysis for text to analyze the text sentiments. One single code is about 100 more than 100 lines in R. So yeah, so it takes time, of course. I think our students are happy with learning. So at the end, this experience of learning is enjoyable. I think that so far from the feedback from our current students. But I would like you guys to ask our current students who are studying in the specialization, and ask for their feedbacks about the content. And specifically, since this is the first year we opened this specialization, we are also in the process of making adjustment to the content proposal for next year. So we are continuously evolving because it also that the field is also evolving. So I don't know how you can get. So some students asking, can we have their contacts? I don't know. So ask LinkedIn or I really don't know how to get in contact. The science specialization is not compatible with the digital right? I think I heard it said it was MR asked a question. Applied data science specialization is not compatible with digital specialization, right? I think I heard it said yes. It's not. We are compatible. But it's not like overlapping. So we are fully compatible because we are talking about like 2 subjects. Digital is more about the business models. Right? So and the new technologies, and then how companies can use these new technologies to, so during the digital transformation. So for applied data science, actually, it's a perfect matching to digital transformation, because the digital transformation needs the analytical component at the somewhere. So like IoT, when the company has IoT data, has the IoT business model, how to analyze the IoT data. So how to make sense of the IoT data. So then you learn from digital transformation first, and then you learn from this specialization. Then you have a full package of a digital expert. Yeah. So this is the future. Why could you have 2 classes and enroll more people? Teresa has a question. Since this is the future, why couldn't have 2 classes and enroll more people?
I think we need to talk to the dean to be able to employ more professors. But first of all, yes, this is also a little bit scarce resource to have the teachers for that, right? And you can only grow slowly. We first need to manage what we have, and over time, when it's implemented successful, then we can also talk about like enlarging. But we also have, as said, we have also Yannick's specialization, digitalization, which is also very important and tech oriented, 100%. So this is also where you can what you can look into.
Well, we have a new question.
You also have M1 and M2. So if you can't get in applied data science in M1, you can get in M2 maybe. Just saying.
Yeah, so it's perfect like sequence and the compatibility between the 2. And so that's the reason why we're all together here. So I guess. Yeah. So is there a coding in Python course in a finance? Well, you should go to the webinar for finance specialization. I'm not sure. But we do have a Python tutorial course, so to prepare our students to be ready for to run Python and R or advanced machine learning models. But for finance specialization, please go ask for the finance that professor directors over there. How many courses modules are taught in parallel? Well, we don't have any parallel. It's a sequence. We have 4 months. All the courses are delivered in sequence. In a sequence is logically as a logical sequence. It's like prerequisite after prerequisite after. So so the later you study so it's by assuming that previously some of the prerequisites you have already taken. So it's a logical, it logically flows. It's a sequence.
But I think maybe if parallel means that of course during the first, let's say, 5 weeks there are some courses in parallel that set the ground for the second 5 weeks classes. So I think the maximum courses running parallel are 3 or 4, I don't know.
Well, Matthew asked a question, this question to understand to how much time we have to study and prepare. I can tell you that it takes, I wouldn't be surprised that during this 4 months, during this term right now, that our students, they spend days and nights working on their projects, working on their case studies, learning on Python and R, and then yeah, so it's if you are expecting to have a more relaxed springtime for next year, well, probably it's not a good idea to register for this specialization, because the 4 months yeah, homework, and it's hard, and exams and the projects are hard. I don't well, we can't. What are your background in terms of business? You're asking the profile of our professors. Well, we all well, I can, yeah, maybe Paul can share. First of all the professors are very research active. Research active means that all the professors are very familiar with the research methods that they use. Research methods, when we say research methods, meaning that using R, the Python, and all these analytical models, econometrics models in their research. So specifically, if you ask me specifically, and then I can share with you that I had an engineering background back when I was of your age or even younger, and then yeah, so I used to build radar. I built a radar, and then yeah. So it's when I was 23 years old, and then it was too. I studied in the United States. It was too dangerous for young Chinese students who work on a Navy radar project because of, you know, the obvious reason. Yeah, after drinking a couple of times coffee with CIA guys, they literally came to the campus and invited all the students for coffee. There was no coffee, but they just talk, you know. And then I decided to jump out of that horrifying environment, and then business is a safe place to work. So yeah, then yeah, so I studied business, specifically IS, information systems, RFID, radio frequency applications in operations research. And after that, so now we have, yeah, so also data mining and machine learning back. My engineering background, so my bachelor's, I study industrial automation, mostly machine learning, today's neural network, decision tree. So that was back 25 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, with respect to me, so I have a yeah, strong business background. Of course, I'm not an engineer, also not a spy or anything like that, right? But coming from the business side of things, and when I pursued my PhD, it's highly focused on capital markets oriented research. So as I said, what we do in our research is we are you know, automatically reading and processing financial statements up to, you know, 50,000 annual reports for at once using Python and other software, self-programmed steps. So it includes, yes, ways try to outline when you want to conduct a high quality research, you gotta know data mining, you gotta know how to use really large data sets, and yeah, in terms of also analysis, and another area of my research is also into forecasting, and then all this data driven. This is what also kind of like sucked me into this topic of applied data science. So I'm not a trained data scientist, but just a data science with my heart and my interest. So this is kind of like my background in this field. We also, we try to collaborate a lot with the practitioners as well, because the field is so dynamic, right? So currently we're having introduction to machine learning with fraud detection specialists from the banking industry. And so, yeah, this is how we try to collaborate across disciplines and across academics and practitioners.
Okay, I think we're running, we're almost the end of today's webinar.
No more questions, so we will stop the webinar now. Thank you very much, everyone.
Hey, Yannick, thank you. Thank you.
Bye. Thanks for
so many questions. If you have any further questions, you can send us email, no problem. Looking forward to the next cohort. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.